Hi. Taehyung Lovers all around the world. Welcome back to Taehyung Lovers Worldwide channel. The channel that always stands at the very front to voice the kindness, influence, and peaceful aura of Kim Taehyung to every corner of the world. But today, don't relax just yet. Stop for 3 seconds. Don't scroll. Don't blink. Because what happened in February 2026 was not just an ordinary moment. This wasn't just about photos, not just about fashion, and not just about beautiful visuals. This was about something bigger. Something that even made global business analysts pause and ask, how can a single gaze move an industry? Yes, a single gaze. February 2026 was not just another month on the global entertainment calendar. It was a moment when one calm gesture, one simple seat on a wooden chair against a plain white wall, once again shook the international business landscape. When Kim Taehyung appeared without excessive luxury, the world saw something more valuable than gold: influence. And this is where everything changed. Analysts call it the V effect. Not a fan term, not social media hyperbole, but a pattern visible in quarterly reports, sales graphs, and global brand research. In the middle of companies spending billions to capture public attention, Taehyung does not shout. He is not sensational. He is not dramatic. He is precise. And in the modern economy, precision is power. The photos circulating from Seoul to Tokyo, from Shanghai to Los Angeles sparked cross-border discussions. A soft gray sweater, loose dark pants, his gaze directed upward. Quiet, simple, yet in that silence, the public saw self-control. And in perception psychology, calmness is a symbol of high status. Then the portrait shifted. A technical jacket with sharp lines, slightly wet hair, a straight, intense gaze. This was not just a fashion editorial. It was a visual language of discipline and endurance. And when the data began to speak, TIRTIR winning the ELLE Beauty Awards 2026 as K-Beauty leader, YUNTH ranking first in Japan commercial favorability ranking, Snow Peak receiving an award for expansion in China, Compose Coffee leading the long-priced coffee chain brand category. The industry began to realize this was not repeated coincidence. This was a pattern. But what the public rarely discusses is the foundation. A Swiss watch, a gift from his father when Taehyung was still a trainee. Not when he was famous, not when he was wealthy, but when he was still uncertain about everything. That watch was not just an accessory. It was a symbol of belief, a symbol that his time would come. And perhaps that is where the secret lies. In a noisy world that forgets easily, Taehyung chooses calm. In a world thirsty for sensation, he chooses precision. Behind that single gaze, there are rising graphs. There are industries moving. There are perceptions shifting. Now the question is for you, is the V effect just an exaggerated myth? Or are we witnessing a new model of global cultural power? Write your opinion in the comment section. Agree or disagree, your voice matters. Don't forget to like if you believe kindness and positive influence must continue to be voiced. Subscribe to stay with the Taehyung Lovers Worldwide family. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next big moment. And most importantly, make it viral so the world continues to see the goodness of Kim Taehyung. Because February 2026 was not just an ordinary month on the global entertainment industry calendar. It was a moment when one gaze, one calm gesture, and one silent presence once again shook the international business landscape. When Kim Taehyung sat on a simple wooden chair against a plain white wall without decoration, the business world was reminded once again of one unwritten law that keeps repeating: whatever he touches moves. This phenomenon is no longer just fan euphoria. Marketing analysts call it the V effect, a term that now lives not only on social media but also in corporate quarterly reports, brand equity research, and cross-country investor presentations. In the midst of brutal global competition, where companies spend billions to steal public attention, Taehyung's influence works differently. He does not shout. He is not sensational. He is precise. And in the modern economy, precision is power. The series of photos released in February 2026 sparked wide discussions from Seoul to Tokyo, from Shanghai to Los Angeles. In one frame, Kim Taehyung appears wearing a soft gray sweater and loose dark pants. He sits casually, chin resting on his hand, gaze directed upward as if thinking about something beyond the camera's reach. There are no luxurious props, no dramatic lighting, just simplicity that is almost silent. Yet in that silence, the public saw something stronger than luxury: self-control. In perception psychology, extreme calmness is often associated with high status and confidence. The human brain reads stability as strength, and Taehyung radiates that without excessive gestures. In the next portrait, the atmosphere becomes firmer. He wears a gray technical cut jacket with sharp design lines following his shoulders and arms. His hair is slightly wet, falling naturally onto his forehead. His gaze is straight and intense. This is not merely a fashion editorial. It is a visual statement about endurance, discipline, and control. A close-up of his face reveals details that have been highlighted by the global public for years. A sharp jawline, a calm expression, and eyes that speak without sound. The camera does not need to work hard. His presence alone builds a narrative. In an era where human attention lasts only seconds, the ability to hold public focus without sensation is a rare advantage. This visual narrative intersects with business data that cannot be ignored. TIRTIR Korea was named winner of the ELLE Beauty Awards 2026 in the K-Beauty Leader category, an award based on market performance and consumer perception. The momentum of global exposure aligned with increased visibility of public figures, like Taehyung became material for industry analysis. In Japan, YUNTH ranked first in the Japan Commercial Favorability ranking, surpassing established competitors in public campaign acceptance levels. Reports from local advertising research institutions highlighted emotional connection as a key determining factor. Snow Peak once again won recognition at the Korea Brand Awards 2026 for its China market expansion category. In a complex era of globalization, cross-cultural success is not only about distribution, but also about figures who can bridge local identity with international aspiration. Compose Coffee recorded the top position as the leading long-price coffee chain brand in Korea based on the annual Consumer Preference Survey. A simple photo of Taehyung enjoying coffee transformed into a symbol of modern urban lifestyle. This is where the V effect works. Acceleration of perception. In behavioral economics theory, purchasing decisions are often influenced by social signals. When a globally credible figure is associated with a product, perceived risk decreases and trust increases. Validation turns into decision. Decision turns into sales numbers. And those numbers are reflected in graphs. But behind all of this, there's a much quieter story. A Swiss watch bought by his father during a vacation in Switzerland. 2 watches were brought home, one for Taehyung, one for his younger brother. At that time, Taehyung was still a trainee. There was no guarantee of debut, no certainty of success. The Korean entertainment industry is known to be harsh and competitive, but there was belief. That watch was not just an accessory. It was a symbol of father's faith that his son's time would come. In various old trainee photos, that watch can be seen wrapped around his wrist, as if ticking along with dreams not yet realized. Switzerland is known as the center of precision in the world, and a Korean teenager carried that precision on his wrist while waiting for his own time to shine. Years later, when his name echoed on global stages and his face filled international campaigns, that watch became a witness to a long journey unseen by the public. Before becoming an icon, he was a boy who received a gift full of hope from his father. Before becoming a symbol of global influence, he was a teenager who believed in the process. In a fast-moving world that forgets easily, consistency of influence is an anomaly. Every time Taehyung appears in the global visual landscape, conversations rise, searches increase, and perceptions shift. Is this merely popularity? Or are we witnessing a new model of cultural power, where one figure can move cross-sector industries with a calm yet measured approach? Some may consider it exaggerated. Others see it as a smart strategy. But data shows that emotional resonance and personal credibility carry real economic value. February 2026 may be remembered not only as the month of minimalist photo releases or specific brand victories, but as a case study of how calmness can become power. Because behind that one calm gaze, there's a graph that is rising. And the question now remains open to the public. Is a V effect merely an amplified myth or a cultural economic reality we are witnessing together? Taehyung lovers all around the world, February 2026 is not just a passing story. It became an unexpected meeting point on the map of global music and business. From Seoul to Los Angeles, one piece of news blew strongly, triggering curiosity across continents. And we all know this is not a coincidence, because February 2026 is not just an ordinary month on the global entertainment industry calendar. It is a moment when one gaze, one calm gesture, and one silent presence once again shook the international landscape. When Kim Taehyung sat on a simple wooden chair against a plain white wall, the business world was reminded of one unwritten law: whatever he touches moves. And now, the question is no longer, is this real? The question is, how big will the next impact be? The phenomenon analysts call the V effect is no longer just fan euphoria. It is visible in quarterly reports, in brand research, in rising graphs. It works without shouting, without sensation, only precision. And in a brutal and competitive world, precision is power. From minimalist photos that spark global discussion to brands recording major achievements. TIRTIR at the ELLE Beauty Awards 2026, YUNTH in Japan's favorability ranking, Snow Peak in China expansion, to compose coffee at the top of Korean coffee brands. The narrative forms a pattern: calm yet impactful, silent yet moving. But behind all the numbers and awards, there is the story of a Swiss watch, a gift from a father when Taehyung was nobody yet, a symbol of belief that his time would come. And perhaps that time is ticking louder now. In a world that forgets quickly, consistency is an anomaly, and every time Taehyung appears, conversations rise, searches increase, perceptions shift. So before we truly close this video, we want to ask you, is the V effect just an exaggerated myth? Or are we witnessing a real shift in the map of global cultural power? Write your opinion in the comment section. We want to read everything. Agree, disagree, different perspectives. Your voice matters here. Thank you for watching until the end. You are amazing. Don't forget to like if you feel this content open a new perspective. Comment your thoughts. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next big moment. If you like it, support and make it viral so the world continues to see the goodness of Kim Taehyung. If you don't like it, that's okay. You can skip. Taehyung Lovers channel never forces anyone, because behind that one calm gaze, there may be a bigger next chapter. And when it happens, we will be here. See you in the next video. Taehyung Lovers.